Hey friends, in today's video, I have a guest. I have my friend Andrea.
Hi.
So today we're creating a very summer-proof, sweat-proof, minimal makeup look, and I thought Andrea was the perfect guest and model to have on my channel. Not only is she obviously stunning and beautiful, and anyone would want to have her as a model, but she is also a very active person. So a sweat-proof, summer-proof look is something that she needs. She is very active in tennis. She is a former pro volleyball player, and her husband, Jarrett, is actually the women's UT volleyball coach. So she knows a thing or two about sweat-proof beauty products. So we're gonna be creating her makeup. We have a lot of fun chit-chatting. I also wanna introduce and share a little bit about Andrea's brand. She owns a brand, and she founded a brand called TIY Products. So before we get started, can you tell us a little bit about TIY?
Yes, of course. DIY is a customizable hair tie that you make depending on volume, texture, hair type that you have, and hairstyle that you like to wear. You make loops depending on size, volume, and level of comfort that you want. And the fabric that goes around the elastic, it's made specifically not to damage your hair, not to give you headaches, and to hold whether you are running a marathon or you are just getting your kids out of the door to school day.
I love your story because this product was really designed to fill like a gap, like a problem that you and Jarrett saw. So in the video, we'll talk more about their story and you'll learn more about it. But this product was specifically designed for very active people, athletes. But when I discovered it, I got some for me, for my girls, because it's just an incredible product. So I'm excited to have you.
Thank you.
All right, let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna start by prepping your skin before we go in with your SPF. And we're gonna be using the Dior Face and Body. This is a primer, but it's really hydrating. So it's gonna give hydration, but also like prep and prime the skin.
What is the main goal of using a primer?
A couple of things. I mean, it can really prime the skin for makeup to keep it on longer. And there's different types of primers. There's primers that are meant to like blur the skin. They have a lot of silicones in them, so they create a really like smooth appearance on the skin. Mm-hmm. There's primers that are glowy. So if you have really dry skin and you want a little bit more of a glow, that can, assist with that underneath your foundation. There's primers that are mattifying. So if you're really oily, you can put that on before your foundation. It'll help control shine and oil production. But really, they're intended to keep your foundation on longer, to give more longevity in your foundation. They're not really necessary, honestly. I don't wear a primer every day. I just prep my skin with my skincare. But since you came in without moisturizer, this one's great because it is hydrating. So I'm kind of using it more as a moisturizer for you.
It smells good.
It does. Yeah, I like this one a lot. And I like this one to put underneath the eyes because it is plumping. So it'll really prep under the eye area before concealer. We're going to keep your concealer really light. You don't usually wear concealer, do you? Mm-hmm. No? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to use a little bit, but I'm really going to kind of use your SPF products underneath the eyes. I'm just going to mix a tiny bit of concealer just to give a little more coverage there. Okay, so tell me about these two products. I'm excited. Tell me about these two.
Yes. So one is an ultralight tinted SPF that kind of mirrors the same as this one with a different tone. One is for water. So if I sweat, if I'm playing beach volleyball, if I'm just on the beach, or if I'm playing tennis, I tend to use more of these. This one has an anti-aging component to it. And I really have come to love this since I was introduced to them by my former beach volleyball partner. Mm-hmm. If I'm not using this, which I use majority of the time when I'm in locations that are near to the ocean, I use the Amavara SPF, which is also tinted, just because it's reef safe. So if I'm jumping in the ocean after a match, or I'm just lounging, reading a book, and I go anytime I go in the ocean, I will wear something like this.
And this has a tint to it?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Okay, well, today let's use these two.
Perfect.
I'm excited about these because when you showed these to me, you got real excited.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Will you show me how? I want you to apply it, actually, because you apply it with your fingers, right?
I do.
Yeah, okay, so show me how you use these two. And you just use them together because of the tone, right?
Yes.
Okay, but you don't need to.
No, you don't have to mix them necessarily. I'm in between shades right now. Summer hasn't hit and winter is not here, but I usually go.
You already have such a good tan. I can't imagine you darker. Do you get darker?
Oh yeah. I get way darker.
I swatched this on my hand and it was so light. Mm-hmm. Yeah, really
it is super light, and it's very light coverage too. You don't see any, when you use the brush
Uh-huh.
with too much product, it'll leave a mark. This one doesn't. It just kind of like absorbs, and it just feels extremely good.
Oh yeah. So it's pretty sheer. It gives a little bit of a tint, but not a lot of coverage. Yeah.
And I'll mix it with some of this.
So you apply one and then you apply the next. You don't mix the two together in your hand. Okay.
I don't know if I should mix them together. I don't normally see how they feel different. One is a little more brown, and the other one has a little more yellow undertones.
Where do you order these?
I get them from my dermatologist in Hawaii.
Okay.
Or you can purchase them online. They are on a little bit more expensive side, but they're totally worth it.
Can you get them on Amazon?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think you can. They last for a very long time.
They do.
You know, you don't apply much product. I just use 2 little lines. And then you kind of like mix them in.
Yeah, your skin has a little bit of a glow. Yeah, very pretty. Like very transparent, but it still like enhanced your skin. Gave a little bit of color to it. Very pretty. Okay. Nice. Okay. And I'm going to keep you foundation free. I know you also have this powder from Shiseido that you use.
Sometimes, yes.
We'll use that today just to give a little bit more coverage, but I am going to apply a little concealer. And I'm probably just going to mix it with one of these because, you know, concealer is very full coverage. It's very pigmented. It's very heavy. And since you don't usually wear it and we're creating a look that is very like sweat proof, summer proof, I don't want to put a lot of concealer on you, but I also want to give a little bit of coverage. So I'm going to use the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer. I really love this concealer because it gives full coverage. It's not super lightweight, but it's also not heavy. It doesn't look dry or cakey on the skin. And I'm going to use a tiny amount because it is full coverage. It really allows you to use a very small amount. This shade might be a little dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a tiny bit and I'm going to mix it with your SPF to kind of custom create a shade. I'll have this product listed and linked down below as well. ISDN photo. So I'll have this listed and linked for you guys.
And this
down
one
below.
is the Fusion Watercolor.
Fusion Water. Okay. Same brand, but Fusion Watercolor. Okay, I'm going to take our concealer brush. I'm just going to mix these two together. I'm using more of the SPF than the concealer because I want it to really be sheer. I'm going to have you look up. And I'm just going to press and tap this underneath the eye. And I'm going to kind of let it sit for maybe 30 seconds while I go to the other side. By letting it sit for about 30 seconds before I completely blend it out, it's allowing it to kind of self-set a bit, get a little bit more coverage. So you're going to basically get the maximum amount of coverage from less product. So do you just spend your summers out at the beach playing volleyball, or I guess in your backyard too, you have a sand volleyball court?
Yeah, I do that. And
tennis.
Tennis. Yeah, I just picked it back up after 17 years of not playing.
Tennis. Yeah.
And it's an adventure. I definitely like the overheads and serving more than my backhands right now, but it's fun.
Which do you prefer, volleyball or tennis? You do both.
Okay, so I love how mentally tough you have to be in tennis. There's no subs, there's no timeouts. You kind of have to push through. When you're not having a good match or a good practice, you have to push through. I like that aspect. It kind of makes you look inward and dig a little deeper in your resilience bucket. But with indoor, which I played for 8 years in Italy, you have a sense of community.
You say indoor volleyball?
Indoor volleyball. You're part of a team, you're part of 12, and on the court, you're with 5 other people. So you can hide a little bit more if you're not having a good day. But since I picked up beach volleyball, it's definitely very similar to tennis in a way that it's you and your partner out there. You don't have a coach.
It's just 2 people?
It's 2 on 2. And you kind of are put in the same circumstances of tennis. You have to be tough. You touch the ball, every rally at least once. And you have to be a well-rounded athlete. You have to know how to do everything. Whereas indoor, you specialize in a position. On the beach, you have to be able to do everything.
I didn't know that. I didn't realize beach was only 2 people.
Yeah, we have the Summer Olympics coming up.
Oh, yeah. It seems very challenging, beach or sand volleyball over court.
It's 2 different sports.
Okay.
Very many people think about them as the same because the word volleyball is in it. And some skills are shared skills. But once you get into the elevated level, the elite level and the professional level, the rules are different. The court's different size. Indoor, you don't deal with the elements of, the surface moving underneath your feet, or anything like that. Whereas in beach volleyball, you have, a smaller court, less touches, and you have to deal with the wind. Sometimes the depth of the courts are different. Some courts are deeper. Some courts are more shallow.
More variables.
If it rains, it's different.
It's
texture.
windy, sands in your eye.
If it's windy, it's one of my favorite things to play when it's windy because you can play with the wind. So it's fun.
Okay, so you played sand.
Yeah.
Beach. Okay. Okay. Pause from the tennis or the volleyball talk. Let's talk about the powder we're going to apply on you.
So it's a Shiseido SPF 50.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize it had an SPF to it. And you buy refills for this.
Yes, it's sold. You cannot even see it anymore.
So they don't sell this compact anymore.
I think they do. They sell it at Walmart.
Oh, okay. And then you buy the refills.
Yep.
Okay. And it has SPF 50.
Yeah.
Okay. And you just apply this all over.
Yeah. And they also have different shades for matching your skin tone.
Yeah, this would be a pretty bronzer for me. Okay, so I'm just going to apply a little bit of this in the center of your face. And I'm using the N15 Nikki LaRose BK Beauty brush.
Yay, Nikki.
Did you get to meet Nikki?
I didn't get to meet Nikki, but it feels like I have.
Yeah, she's wonderful. You should follow her content. She's very entertaining to watch. Even if you don't wear a lot of makeup, you could just
Yeah, I follow her for her personality.
Yes, exactly.
More than for makeup.
She's so sweet. So on the forehead, I'm just keeping it really light and sheer, but in the center of the face, you'll see I kind of press it with a brush. This is just giving a little bit more coverage and applying a little more product there. And then on the chin, we'll just sweep too. Most of us have more discoloration or things that we need to cover, like in the center of the face, because it's where the sun hits us. So I usually build coverage there and then sheer everything else out on the face. Okay, so I want to hear more about your product and your brand.
Yeah, I make customizable hair ties. They're called TIY. As we mentioned earlier, it stands for tie it yourself. And you make loops. So it's very customizable to your volume of hair, your texture, your style of how you put your hair up. And each one of us is different. So we have different hair volumes. The same way we have, different faces. And the product is special because you get to make loops depending on how much do you need. Like I was wearing a 4 loop. My hair was wet when I got here and, it doesn't give me a crease even if I put it up when it's wet.
It doesn't crease at all.
No.
That's so amazing.
And the second part, besides the loops, is that it's the fabric around it took us 2 years, but it's a very resilient fabric, but at the same time, it's very soft. And it doesn't pull your hair, doesn't give you headaches, doesn't give you dents. Even, sometimes you momentarily put your hair up when it's wet before just brushing it and then I walk out of the door with my hair wet or before styling it. And we've noticed that it just helps promote the lack of breakage. So it just helps to be gentle on the hair. It's twice as stretchier than a regular elastic and 13 times stronger. It's a different product.
Totally different, yeah. It's like unlike any other hair tie I've ever used. I have really thick hair.
Right.
So
how do you like that?
I've always struggled with hair ties, especially like smaller ones, like that are kind of your traditional size, because they would give me creases and they wouldn't really hold my hair. But when I would use big scrunchies, they were just bigger and bulkier than I wanted. So I love this because it actually holds my hair in place, but it doesn't leave a crease. I can keep it in and then take my hair out and just restyle it down real easily.
Yeah. One of my favorite things is I get to play with the colors. One of our strong points is that it doesn't look like a hair tie. It doesn't give you a dent on your wrist if you're wearing it, cutting your circulation off. And a lot of people just ask, oh my gosh, where'd you get that bracelet? People braid them with different colors and have just fun with it. So the accessory element I love because I get to play with it and just match it. Kind of like either with my outfits or with my mood. So I play with it and it's fun. Whereas when you buy the other ones in the drugstore, you kind of have to buy a pack and you're married to that entire pack, and they break, they stretch out at a very fast rate. So they end up in the landfill or in the ocean, which is, you know, not ideal. So with TIY, I created something that will last you for months. So you get to use it. You change them up because you want different colors, not because they break or they let you down anyhow.
And I love the story of how it started. Can you tell like about the story, like the background? And
yeah, so there's two sides of the story. My husband, who coaches at Texas, has been coaching for 30-something years now.
At Texas?
No, at Texas, he's entering his 25th
Wow.
season. Yes.
I didn't realize he's been there that long.
Yeah, so he's been here for 25 years, but he's always looking for ways of improving the reality around him. He has a crazy entrepreneurial brain, and it's able to improve something by just looking at it. And he was always listening to his girls in practice complain about the hair and the hair tie, and you know how they broke it, they couldn't find their hair tie, or readjusting their hair during timeouts. So he kind of started thinking and asking them, what's the problem? And each girl had a different problem to her hairstyle. Given the fact that he has a very different, diverse team, the girls had, you know, problems with holding their braids up, or they had to be readjusting their ponytail every time out because they had fine hair and it was just slipping. It wouldn't hold. Some of them were readjusted so that you can move the hair around your scalp because they were getting headaches. So he kind of like gathered that data and started to dabble with something that would be a universal product, inclusive, and it could be worn by everyone. So on the other part of the story, I play volleyball indoor, and when I was playing, I used to wear 5 hair ties to keep my hair in a pony because my hair was longer. And I liked, you know, that snatched pony look,
really high,
the very high, and it's very straight.
That hurts my head just thinking about it, though. Right?
It's very straight, and I used to wear 5. On the other side, I was working as a model, and my hairdressers were really mad at me because I had a lot of breakage, especially along the hairline, because of the way I was tying it in a pony, and I was sweating in it, and then I was taking it out to shower at the end. And I'm a sweater. I really do sweat a lot. So when your hair is wet, it's more frail. And when you're taking it down, when it's wet after a workout, or if you're at the beach, or if you swim, or anything like that, then you're most likely to break it. They were telling me all this, you know, you cannot wear it like this anymore. You have to stop wearing it like that. But it made me feel good. You know, I liked that look. It made me feel powerful.
Which is important when you're playing.
Yeah, I do believe, you know, look good, play good, even if it's just a self-inflicted thought. You know, you're like, okay, I look good, so I'm gonna be a little more confident when I go out there.
You're gonna have your like alter ego in place.
Yeah. So I was telling them, no, you know, I don't want to. It feels good. And their emphasis was something that made me think about it later. They were using a lot of expensive product to keep my hair healthy. And ultimately, I was just damaging it by the way I was putting it up, which is something, you know, that I thought
was very preventable.
Right. Later on, I've never been a user of, you know, hot tools or not even hair dryer. My hair, I let it dry, like air dry. And, you know, I was wondering why I was having so much damage. And I couldn't pinpoint the answer. Years later, once I had the opportunity to discuss the material with Jared, I love cooking, so I kind of put ingredients together from textiles to make the fabric what it is. And it's very different, like very, very stretchy, but at the same time it's soft. And we came up with that. It took us about 2 years to get it right and how we wanted it. And that's how TIY was born. And then later on, we just started giving it to our friends. and family, kind of like when you create something for the first time.
Test it. Let me know your feedback.
Yes, I was just like, this is kind of silly. Why would you tie your own hair tie? And then our friends and family and our first customers started to say how much benefit it was giving them to make something that was just tailored for them. And then I started to think about it as clothes. If I had it my way, everything would be tailored for me.
Right.
For our bodies, and it would fit you just right. And that's what the loops do. You make
it exactly for you. Yeah.
And you play around with it a little bit and see, okay, 3 might be too much, and maybe I'll make 2, but they're a little bigger if your hair is more voluminous. And it just, I don't know.
You find out what works.
You find out what works, and also what works in one stage of your life might not work in a different stage of another.
Right.
And even with less time passing, one hairstyle might require you to use a lot of product and one hairstyle less. For example, I wear normally a 4-loop for my everyday activities when I put it up. And when I'm at home and I'm just in a messy bun and I'm, I don't know, watching a movie with my husband or even washing my face before bed, I use a 2-loop. It's a more relaxed, is my
loose.
My home loose kind of feel.
Yeah. I love that. Okay, let me catch everyone up on what we did on the eyes. So we kept the eyes pretty simple. Have you ever tried these before? My guess is no. Okay. This is by Merit Beauty. It's their Solo Shadow, and it's a cream eyeshadow. This is the color we use. It's called Studio. It's just a really pretty, warm, like soft neutral. And we just swept this all over the lid. So these are incredibly long wearing. They're creamy when you first apply them, but once they dry down, they set and they stay in place and they don't move. So you can use them as a shadow by itself, or you can pair a shadow on top of it. Today, I'm just going to keep it by itself. But if like you were going out to dinner and you wanted to like kind of, amp up this look, you could use a little bit of a shimmer shadow and pop that onto the center of the lid, just directly on top of it. And it would work really well. It would intensify the powder shadow, and it would just kind of work as a primer. So how we used a primer on your skin, that shadow could work, this cream shadow could work like a primer for your eyes. And then to line your eyes, I use the Urban Decay 24/7 eyeliner in the shade Bourbon. It's like a kind of a deep bronze with a little pearlescence to it. I like this over black. I feel like it's softer and just a little softer, a little prettier, not as harsh as black.
Is that what you have?
It is what I have on. Yeah. I love this. And I cannot find a better, longer wearing pencil that's as creamy as this one when you first apply it.
Okay.
So it's nice because when you apply it, you can go in and smudge it with a brush, which is what we did. I used the N12 to just smudge it out, but because I didn't want a harsh liner look, I just wanted it to look a little deeper at your lashes and then kind of fade upward. I didn't want it to be a harsh, strict line. So creamy gives you time to manipulate it, but once it dries and sets, it stays in place. So this is really good. And that's what we're going to do for the eyes. Just keep it pretty simple and basic. I'm going to go ahead and pop on a little bit of mascara, and I grabbed the Lancome Big Monsieur mascara. I'm going to apply a few coats of this. This is a really great lengthening and thickening mascara. Do you have a favorite mascara?
I do.
You do? What is it?
It's probably...
Go ahead and look down.
Very, very basic. It's the L'Oreal, the original.
Is it like in the gray tube?
Yep.
Voluminous?
Yes.
Yes, that's a good one.
That, and I've tried many, and I think I continue to fall back on that. I'm a very, very simple makeup person when I do it. Mm-hmm. But it feels that more than the mascara itself is the brush.
Brush, yes.
It really goes through my eyelashes, and it, it just lengthens them, it separates them. I've tried the small rubber mascara, it sells from the same brand, but it doesn't give the same result.
You don't like it? You like a fuller brush wand?
Yeah.
Gives a lot of volume and length. But yeah, the brush makes so much difference. So when I apply mascara on people, it's a little bit difficult because I'm always using these disposable mascara wands. So it's not really the full effect that the mascara gives. I like this mascara because this one's not a waterproof formula, but it's pretty transfer resistant and it doesn't flake.
Okay, question for you. You'll know this. How do you take off waterproof mascara?
So I would use like a cleansing balm or a makeup remover that's kind of got an oil base to break down the mascara. And I would put it on a cotton swab or cotton round, and I would just place it on the eye and just kind of hold it there for 30 seconds or so to give it time to break down your makeup. And then slowly just massage, not wipe, but just slowly put some pressure and massage to just let that oil break down the mascara.
It's a struggle. I bought it for the first time. Going to an event, I knew I was going to cry. And
Was it a wedding?
No, it was Jerry's induction to the Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow.
You know, so it was an emotional moment. And taking it off, I think I struggled. I
pulled out your
really
lashes.
did.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm pretty sure I lasted with like that mascara on for a week.
Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit of a shimmer on the bottom here just to give a really pretty, subtle, soft, smoky effect. I don't want to use the word smoky because when you think of smoky, you think dark or heavy. It's not that, but it's just going to kind of diffuse out the liner a little bit. I'm not going to put mascara on your lower lashes. I think especially sweat-proof makeup or being outside, playing sports. If you're going to wear mascara, I would avoid the lower lashes because, you know, they touch your skin and it's likely to smudge and transfer. Okay, so your eyes are done, but I do want to show you if you were to add a little bit of a shimmer, like if you wanted to elevate this a tiny bit, you could do that. So I'm going to take a fluffy crease brush. This is the A502. And I'm going to go into this shade right here. If you were lighter skin, I'd probably go into this one or one of these, but you have a nice tan, so I'm going to go in with this shade, and I'm going to have you close. I'm just going to kind of pop it right in the inner corner of the eye. This is going to brighten and highlight the inner corner, but it's going to do it in a really soft, pretty, subtle way. Still pretty light, not a heavy look. And I'm just keeping it right in the inner corner of the eye, and then just kind of blending it to fade once it gets to like the center of the lid.
What, in your opinion, is the most important part of trying to achieve a look for all day?
Like for your makeup to last all day? A lot of skin prep and just using the right products. So using a primer that's either a gripping primer, something that's long wearing, that's going to have, you know, kind of work as like almost like glue for the makeup to give the makeup something to adhere to. That's really important. And then setting sprays are really important. I have one here. This is like hairspray for your face. It's called On Till Dawn, and it's a mattifying waterproof setting spray. This locks your makeup and keeps it on all day. It's pretty magical.
Okay.
If you have oily skin, this one's really good. If you're going to be outside sweating a lot, this one is really good. And then just kind of avoiding heavy products, like avoiding heavy full coverage foundations, avoiding heavy cream blushes or cream bronzers, and working with formulations that are lighter weight and when you can, more powder products.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to have you look up. This is just a clean brush. I'm just going to kind of sweep away any excess and just use the brush to kind of pat the skin. This is going to absorb any excess product and just kind of like set the makeup without adding any makeup. Do you ever use blush or anything?
No blush, but bronzer sometimes.
Use your bronzer? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to find you a nice warm kind of like honey colored blush. So it's going to be between a bronzer and a blush. Okay. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to use NARS Laguna bronzer, and this is Laguna 3. So it's a little deeper. We're going to test this out. I'm going to use the BK Beauty 104 brush. So this is a big, large, fluffy brush. So this brush is designed to like pick up less product and apply less product. So it's really good when you're going for like a really natural kind of sheer wash of color versus like a strong contour. So we'll start with this. If I feel like we need to use a more dense brush, we can do that. But I always like to start with lighter, fluffier brushes, just to make sure the color is going to work. And, you know, I can always go back and add more, but you have to know this color is perfect. So this is a bronzer, but it's really warm, so it also kind of works as a bit of a blush. I'm just going to sweep a little bit in the hairline. I'm going to use the tip of the brush. What's great about this brush is it's really full and fluffy, but it also has a little bit of a tapered tip to it. So you can focus the product right in a hairline or a jawline. But if you do want more coverage, you can use the side of the brush and it's going to apply a lot more.
What does it do when you apply bronzer on the contour of your face?
So it's not, this is for my editor. So it's not just all light. So this is adding some more dimension. Now, if you were to use a more cool tone bronzer, so something that had more of a cool undertone and wasn't so warm, that would be really good for contouring. I think a lot of people confuse contouring and bronzing. Even though bronzer can give some shape to the face like contouring does, it's really designed to give more of like this sun-kissed glow to the skin. So it looks more like kind of a natural tan. It's going to create some definition, but we don't want it to look like really strong definition, especially with you, because you already have really defined cheekbones and your facial structure is kind of ideal. Like there's nothing we want to change here. But if you're like working on my face, where my face is more round, I might want to create more definition so that I can look like your cheekbones.
I like your jawline.
Oh, thank you. And what I love about using a softer, fluffier brush is you can really build up. So you can start light and then you can go and build and gradually get to where you want to be, versus going in with a brush that's really dense and then just applying too much product and having a hard time blending it out.
How many total brushes does BK have?
Oh my gosh. So we have like 43. I'm getting confused because I think of our total SKUs, but our total SKUs include our box sets and our bundles. But yeah, individual brushes, we have got you covered. Okay, what do you do for lips typically?
I wear some sort of a brown. I like brown, brown everything. So I normally use, actually, this is one of my favorite. I have a very similar shade to this by Bare Minerals, I think. But colors like this, I don't know if necessarily my skin looks great with pinks.
Yeah.
So I always use browns. I go crazy. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to go crazy. And I buy the same shade over and over and over.
Me too. If you look at my makeup bag, it's like 30 of the same lipstick shades, just different formulas or tones.
And it's like they're all in the same ballpark.
Yeah.
So I think I do browns.
Yeah.
I go from light brown to...
Or like peachies or warmer, because this has got some warm. I wouldn't classify this as brown. I'd classify it as more kind of like a warmer...
That one has
peach.
Undertones of pink, I think. Some terracotta.
Yes. But this is a real sheer product. So even though it looks like really pigmented, when you put it on the lips, it's actually pretty sheer. Okay. Which is nice. This too, oh, by the way, this is from Bobbi Brown, and this is their crushed oil infused gloss. And this is Say Beauty. This is a similar formula. It's like a lip gloss oil. The reason I grabbed these formulas is because they're really sheer in pigment. I knew that we could really alter them with the shade of lip liner that we use, and I knew that they would look really light, very natural, which aligns with what we're trying to do. I'm going to line and fill your lips in with this lip pencil, though. This is from Jane Iredale, and this is the shade Spice. This is a really nice neutral lip pencil. It leans a little bit more brown tone, but it'll work well with like more apricot shades or even a little bit of pink if you have like a pink. Let's see what that looks like. More brown. It might be a little light. Let's see. Lips together. No, it's actually pretty much the color of your lips. So I'm going to line the lips first to create some definition, and then I'm going to kind of softly fill in the lips just to give a little bit of base color. Since the gloss is more sheer, it's not a formula that's long wearing. It's not going to be on your lips all day long. It's going to fade after you drink or eat. But having your lips filled in with a lip pencil will keep that shape there, so you won't have this like obvious liner around the lips once the lip gloss fades. First, to create some definition, and then I'm going to kind of softly fill in the lips just to give a little bit of base color. Since the gloss is more sheer, it's not a formula that's long wearing. It's not going to be on your lips all day long. It's going to fade after you drink or eat. But having your lips filled in with a lip pencil will keep that shape there, so you won't have this like obvious liner around the lips once the lip gloss fades. Do you like to wear lipsticks or glosses or?
I like matte lipstick just because they tend to stay longer.
Yeah. Do they don't feel dry on your lips?
Sometimes. Yeah. So I apply balm over it.
So you will do like a matte lipstick and then that on top. Okay.
When it starts to feel like dry, I'm like...
A little bit, yeah.
My friends were videotaping me saying that I wanted not to stand out at a party. And it kind of went viral because then that night, it was a birthday party for a 70-year-old friend of ours. And the theme was 007.
Uh-huh.
And everyone was like, what are you going to wear? What are you going to wear? And I was saying, I don't want to stand out.
Uh-huh.
I just want to
blend in.
blend in. And they all started laughing. And then I posted what I wore.
Which was
just definitely not simple.
Blended in. Yeah.
And we all got a good laugh out of it.
That's so funny.
It's funny, but with makeup, it's very interesting. I tend to go on the safe side, just like this.
Well, you have beautiful features. I feel like some people look better with a lot of makeup, and some people look better with little makeup.
Right.
You know, like I think you look really pretty with little makeup and like a fresh look. You know, because your features already, like makeup is really there to enhance and kind of. I feel like it's there to enhance what you have, not really like create a whole new persona, right? I mean, it can do both, and you know, sometimes I like to have a lot of makeup, but if I really think about the times that I feel the most beautiful, it's not when I have a ton of makeup on.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It goes with what you're wearing, right? The occasion. For a red carpet, you're gonna wanna, match the glam of your outfit with the glam of your makeup. I feel like it goes in pair.
Totally. Yeah. But like when I get ready for galas, and I'll have my makeup done, I will find like 8 out of 10 times that I have it done, I look in the mirror and I think I just don't look like myself, and I don't like it,
Okay.
Even though it photographs well, or it just doesn't feel like me.
I understand that.
So pretty, so fresh. You're done.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Look at you. Oh, I don't think I've ever had a shade of lip gloss like this.
Like this? Yeah. How do you feel about it?
It kind of matches your
bronzers.
Your Laguna.
Yeah, it's very monochromatic. All the shades just kind of complement and all similar family.
I like it.
Very light and fresh. You're done.
Yay, thank you.
You're welcome. And that wraps up today's video. What do you think of your makeup?
I love it. It feels very me, and I'm ready to continue my day like that. Now I think I have to go on a date night because I feel glam.
You feel glam?
Yeah,
Good.
I do. Very me.
Good. I wanted to keep the makeup very you. I know that you don't wear a lot of makeup, so I didn't want to apply a lot of makeup. And I really wanted this look to be, summer-proof, sweat-proof, something that you could feel glam in even when you're on the court. So
yeah, thank you. I love it.
Well, thank you for being on my channel. Now, before you go, can you let everyone know where they can find you, where they can find TIY? I'll obviously have all this in the description box too, but...
Yeah, you can find us at TIYproducts.com and TIY_products on all the channels. X, Instagram, TikTok, you name it, and we're there.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.